federal webinar. Cab aggregators began with a bang in India about a decade ago. Cab hailing apps had an enviable ride across most cities of the country. But things had taken a turn for the worse. Consumers are miffed about cancellations and overcharging by the cab hailing apps. Authorities are taking action against these cab hailing giants. So is the honeymoon over? That's the question we are asking in today's webinar. And we have experts from sectors relevant to this discussion to answer this question. I welcome our panelists to this webinar. And for those of you who've tuned in to our show on YouTube, please do subscribe to the Federal's YouTube channel. You may also post your questions or suggestions in the comments section below, and we will go through them towards the second half of the webinar. Now, let me quickly introduce our panelists to you. We have with us Mr. Sheikh Salahuddin, National General Secretary, Indian Federation of App-Based Transport Workers, IFAT. He's joining us from Hyderabad. Mr. Tanveer Pasha, President of Ola Uber Drivers and Owners Association. He joins us from Bangalore. My colleague, K. Giri Prakash, Consulting Editor of the Federal. He also joins us from Bangalore. We did request for the participation of Ola and Uber in this discussion, but we couldn't get any of them to represent the two main cab aggregators in the country. So thank you all for joining us. Let me begin with Giri Prakash to set the stage for this discussion. Giri, what do you think has gone wrong? Something is definitely not right. They started with a bang, a lot of hoo-ha over these how cab aggregators were changing the lives of people. And suddenly we see that there's a big take diversion, as they say, on roads happening to these apps. What has gone wrong, Giri Prakash?
So I think basically two things. One is the most obvious one. That's the COVID. Those 2 years washed away whatever gains Uber and Ola had. And then, of course, what happened with Ola was that it got into manufacturing electric vehicles. So the focus was entirely on electric vehicles and not actually on Ola. The other thing is that there are a whole lot of people who started working from home. So very less commuters, very less people, number of people actually using these two taxi aggregator apps. But more than that, what exactly actually happened was that a whole lot of government rules and regulations. This was something very new to India. And for quite some time, the state governments didn't know how to handle this. There were a lot of complaints. Taxi drivers were being taken actually for a ride. They were promised a whole lot of money, but they were earning less. The heydays had gone away when software engineers would leave their jobs and get into taxi, driving, and they made a lot of money. But that was there for a very short time. Later, reality set in. They started getting far less. At the same time, Ola and Uber didn't know how to handle this entire scenario. At one level, there was the government, which was grappling with this complaints, and this was something very new. So they came up with a set of regulations, and then suddenly realized that it wouldn't really stand the test of time. So they kept changing. It was very dynamic in nature. And that led to a situation where the taxi aggregators and the cab drivers got shortchanged. And another thing with India, which is very unique to India, is dynamic pricing. You look at airlines, for example. You always go in for lowest fare. And you don't actually look at other, like say, for example, meals on board and stuff like that. So that also hit them a lot. So there were several reasons why it has come to this stage.
Very interesting. So, Sheikh Salahuddin ji, आप बोलिए कि जैसे कि गिरि प्रकाश सर बोल रहे थे हमें कि बहुत सारे रीजंस हैं क्यों उनका जो फेलियर हुआ है वो कोविड से शुरू हुआ है, लेकिन अब क्या स्थिति है? अब क्या कुछ आपको कुछ साइंस ऑफ कुछ अच्छे होने का कुछ साइंस दिख रहा है आपको, कि या कुछ रास्ते ठीक ही नहीं है? आप म्यूट पे हैं, अनम्यूट करना।
थैंक यू सो मच। पहली बात तो आप सबको एक मौका मिला के हमारी बात यहाँ पे शेयर करने का, और मेरे साथी तनवीर भाई का भी। देखिए, पैंडेमिक बहुत बुरा गया। पैंडेमिक के बारे में तो पूरी देश के ऊपर भी इफेक्ट पड़ा, हमें सबको भी पता है। मगर खुसूसन जैसा अभी ने गिरीश साहब ने बहुत क्लियरली कहा कि पैंडेमिक के टाइम में जो कंपनीज, पैंडेमिक से पहले भी आप देखे होंगे, ओला उबर जैसे कंपनीज शहरों में बड़े बड़े होर्डिंग लगा के बोले कि आप 1 लाख से 1,25,000 रुपया पर महीना कमा सकते हैं। तो आज के दिन जो ड्राइवर ख्वाब देखा था, वो ख्वाब कभी सच नहीं हुआ, उसे भी शहर में। मेरे को पता नहीं है कि आज कौन सा ड्राइवर उतनी आमदनी कमाया जितनी आमदनी ओला उबर कंपनीज एड्स पे बताए थे। रोजगार को इन लोग का कहना यही था गवर्नमेंट से, रोजगार, बेरोजगार जितने भी है उनको हम रोजगार देंगे। और इन लोग जितने भी जनों को रोजगार बनाने का कोशिश किया, फिर उतने ही जनों को बेरोजगार भी बनाया। आप देखे होंगे ओला लीज की व्हीकल जो थी, पैंडेमिक में सैनिटाइज करते गाड़ी बोल के बुला के अपने पार्किंग लॉट को, स्टिल नो आज तक वो ड्राइवर को रिटर्न नहीं दिया गया। वो ड्राइवर जो ख्वाब देख रहा था, 3.5 साल में गाड़ी मेरी पूरी हो रही थी, ओनर बन रहा था। और हर ड्राइवर 1,050 रुपए से लेके 11,050 रुपए, एक को कई स्कीम में 1,050 रुपए का था, किसी को 1,150 रुपए का भी स्कीम था। तो वो हर रोज अपना पैसा ओला फ्लीट जमा करता था अपने अकाउंट के अंदर, ओला उबर के अकाउंट के अंदर, ओला के अंदर। अब वो ड्राइवर सोचो कि अभी 1-2 साल बन गया, कोई ड्राइवर 3 साल बना, कोई 2-3 महीने पूरे बनने पे उसकी गाड़ी पूरी हो जाती थी, उसका ख्वाब तो अधूरा हो गया। गाड़ी तो आज तक उसको मिली नहीं। उतना ही नहीं, उसके फोन से सारा डाटा भी उड़ा दिया गया कि अब उसके पास कुछ हथियार नहीं है कि वो जाके फिर से पूछ सके। और ना कोई उनके ऑफिसेस है, ओला लीज के ऑफिस, वहां पे जाके हम कुछ बोल सके, कुछ पूछ सके। ये तो बहुत बड़ा अन्याय कर दिए, बहुत बड़ा नुकसान हुआ इस चीज पे। मगर ये बात कहाँ पे लेके जाना, किसके सामने लेके जाना? हर शहर में 8 से 10 हजार लोग ओला लीज की व्हीकल लिए, बैंगलोर, हैदराबाद, कर्नाटक, और क्या बोलते, लखनऊ, दिल्ली, दिल्ली एनसीआर, गुड़गांव हरियाणा, बहुत सारे स्टेट्स में, कलकत्ता। अब वो ड्राइवर को क्या पता कि मेरी गाड़ी है, ये बहाने से खींच के लेके जाते, और वो गाड़ी आज खुले पैमाने पे बेच भी दिए, एक्शन करके बोली लगा के वो गाड़ी भी बेच दे रहे ओला लीज की व्हीकल। उबर का भी यही आलम था, बट उबर थोड़ा बहुत सेटलमेंट आके फ्रंट लाइन पे आके सेटलमेंट किया थोड़े ड्राइवर्स का, उबर लीज के व्हीकल्स का। ये दो भी पैंडेमिक में आप देखे होंगे ड्राइवर्स के नाम पे चंदा मांग मांग के ना ड्राइवर को अभी तक दिए। ओला ने ये कहा कि आप ड्राइवर को रोजी रोटी के ऊपर एक दिन का राशन पानी देना चाह रहे तो 500 रुपए दियो, 800 रुपए दियो, 1,200 रुपए दियो। हमारे कस्टमर से मांग था, हमारे कस्टमर्स उनके ऐप में रहने की वजह से हमारे ड्राइवर्स के नाम पे दिए। मगर वो सारा पैसा इकट्ठा करके ओला कंपनी पीएम केयर के अंदर, सीएम केयर के अंदर पैसा दे दिया। क्या बीतरी होंगी वो ड्राइवर्स के ऊपर जो उसका फायदा ही नहीं हो गया पैंडेमिक के अंदर। वो बताना है कि पैंडेमिक के अंदर जो ड्राइवर मेरा गुजर गया कोविड पैंडेमिक में, उसके ऊपर क्या होगा। तो ये तो एक सीनरी ओला के साथ है। उबर तो बोला कि हाँ हम पैसे लेंगे बट वन टाइम सेटलमेंट करेंगे, मगर वो क्या कैटेगरी पता नहीं था, सिर्फ 3,000 रुपए ड्राइवर को देके के खत्म कर दिया। तो ये दो के बीच में आप देख होंगे ओला उबर कंपनी जो बड़ा लूट के लिया, जो बड़ा गेम था, इसके वजह से बहुत सारे ड्राइवर साथी आज रोड पे आ गए। और एक खास बात बताता हूँ, जैसा अभी ने सर कहा था, इस पैंडेमिक में गाड़ी चली नहीं तो गाड़ी का ईएमआई कहाँ से बन सकेगा। ड्राइवर के ऊपर। तो कंपनीज फ्रंट लाइन पे आके उनको सपोर्ट देना चाहिए था, नहीं तो जहां पे हम लोन लिए थे उस कंपनीज को बोलना चाहिए था, एश्योरेंस देना था कि हम आपके साथ है, थोड़ा वक्त दीजिए, यहाँ पे बिजनेस नहीं है, पैंडेमिक है। मगर ये कंपनी ने कहीं पे भी सिंगल लाइन नहीं किया, कहीं गवर्नमेंट से जैसा बातचीत करा, वहां पे कभी भी किसी भी गवर्नमेंट से बातचीत में ये बात नहीं रखा किसी के सामने। उसके वजह से बहुत सारे ड्राइवर्स की गाड़ी जो है फाइनेंसर्स अपनी पार्किंग लॉट में रख दी है खींच के लेके जाके। इतना ही नहीं सर, फिर 3 साल तक वो ड्राइवर अपना सिविल खराब हो जाने के हिसाब से 3 से 4 साल तक वो गाड़ी खरीद ही नहीं पाता।
सलाउद्दीन साहब, आप जो मुश्किलें बोल रहे हैं, इतना मुश्किल जो पैंडेमिक से शुरू होके अभी तक हुआ है, मुझे मैं ये सोच रहा हूँ, मिस्टर तनवीर पाशा जी, आई थॉट आई विल कम टू यू एंड आस्क यू अबाउट what Salahuddin ji is talking about. One side is just one side of the problem. On the other side of the problem, especially where you are in Bangalore, is where the consumers are fed up with the kind of demands that the drivers make when they are going to pick them up, and you see this loss of patronage to a service like the cab aggregation, the cab hailing apps, because at the end of the day you don't want hundreds of cancellations before getting one cab, right? And you are also representing an association. You are aware of these problems. So we just heard in detail from Salahuddin Saab the list of problems. But can you give a picture as to what's happening on the other side?
Prem, before I would like to translate whatever he said.
Mr. Tanvir Pasha will come to you just in a minute after Mr. Giriprakash translates.
Basically, Mr. Salahuddin was saying, I mean, he had some very interesting information to share. He talked about how Ola and Uber advertised on hoarding, saying that if you join us, you'll get 1,25,000 rupees per month. But that never became a reality. They got much lesser than that. And he talked about how the jobs that they were promised, as many jobs are promised, those number of jobs also were so many people, so many drivers also lost those jobs. And he talked about how another most important thing was about how, especially during COVID, a whole lot of if you remember, all of us were asked to donate on our Ola, 500 rupees, 1,000 rupees, so that the drivers who don't have any kind of business and they would support them. That money would actually go to support them, assuming they have some illness because of COVID or there's a death and all that stuff. But apparently that money that Ola and Uber collected actually never went to them. It went to PM Cares Fund or CM Cares Fund or whatever it is. Okay, so they were left in the lurch, and in the name of giving that kind of amount of money, it actually went to some other place. And he also talked about how that the Ola management should have actually gone ahead and whenever these people took on those cars on leave and all that, they are not backed by the Ola's. Ola was not a guarantor any longer. So finally, what has happened is Ola drivers have lost their cabs, and obviously they have lost their whatever earnings that they used to get.
All right. Thank you, Giri, for translating it. I'll come. It's the same question that I asked you, Mr. Tanvir Pasha. What is happening on the other side of the picture, especially in the IT city of Bangalore?
So it is totally connected, as already in detail Salahuddin has explained. So this is chain link connection, what is happening today and what happened before and how it started. First of all, I have lost the hopes on this gig economy structure, which is totally a corrupted structure, and which is not having proper structure of financial system or to the employment structure. Gig economy is just a fundraising and just playing a game with a fundraising. It is just nothing but any a big industry or big asset company or nothing else apart from it. It is a big time game to make some money and make people fool and play with their sentiments and play with the needy people. So Ola and Uber are both are the same. What I used to call them today, they are the white collar criminals kind of, because they are just playing with the rules and regulations, how to violate, where to hook them up. So they're small problems what they started with, and now they became with the big problems, and now they are giving torture to the normal people, to the end number, even to the governments as well. Today, see, the Goa government has not allowed them inside. They are happily enjoying all drivers there. The unions are happy. Government is happy. Public is also happy. Tourist peoples are never fed up from any taxis or any transport facilities. But here, everybody is telling that the customer, as you rightly asked me the question, today so many of booking cancellations happening, and lot of complaints are raising every day. Why? Because of this two company, what they played the game between the driver and customer, with the innocent people and needy people. Innocents are the drivers, needies are the customers. Customers, exactly, all time they wanted the services on the fingertip. They are addicted today. They don't have any other choice. They want the services at their doorstep. They have to book. They have to fill the wallet. What will be the previous balance? Don't check. How many penalties they are charging? They don't check. What they need is service. And the driver, what he needs. Today he invested on the vehicle. What Ola is giving, how much he deducting, what torture he is giving to the driver, doesn't matter. Ultimately, driver wants to survive his family, because he is a hand-to-mouth person. If he earns today, so evening he will bring some groceries, milk, medicines to the family. Otherwise, he don't have any other choices left in the city, because government doesn't give any other platforms to switch over from Ola to other platforms. There is only option which is left at Ola or Uber. There is no any other options. There is no any meter fare, Kalipili taxi, such kind of options here in the city. So today he is doing, but whenever he returns to home, he's planning. He's fed up from the all his 10, 12 trips or 15 trips. He's finished his duties. All of a sudden, if he got opposite direction of the booking, definitely he will cancel the booking, because his mindset is completely towards to his house. Might be because of some personal reason or grocery reasons or his health reason or anything. He's heading towards his house. If he got the booking opposite of the direction, definitely he will cancel. Cancellation reason number one. Reason number two, he is not ready to take the booking, because all away from last 1 hour, he finished his last trip with that huge traffic. Obviously, if we drive our own cars, as I am telling you, we have an experience, we have done the job. So any of the official or any of the employee drives their car from their office to a house for an half an hour. How much he get upset, how much he gets sick. So this driver is working from last 10, 11 hours. If in the evening time, peak hours, if he's stuck in the traffic jam from last 1 hour, he finished the if immediately he gets, he will ask him why you cancel the booking. Simply everybody blames on the driver and says, this driver cancelled our booking. He should get punished. This is the way what the people think that the company will punish us. But the thing is, driver is also a human being. Nobody is thinking about it. There is no any such methods whether the driver is capable to take another trip or not. The companies are not giving any option whether you can take a trip or not, because today cabs are less. In the early days in the Bangalore is a number one market captured for Ola and Uber in India. number one city in the India is it was a Bangalore. Once upon a time, I mean to say 2 years before, 1.5, 2 years before, 1,25,000 plus taxis were running in the city in Ola and Uber both. Today, only there are 25 to 30,000 taxis are playing. So obviously, demands are high, supplies are less. So demands obviously comes, number of demands will comes. These company will, they don't give us any option to cancel the booking, cut the booking or go to offline. Immediately, before disconnecting the trip, the advance booking will come. So obviously, driver will cancel the booking. So there are three things. And fourth thing, one more important thing is there. Today, everywhere we need money. Nobody is giving credit. Not even petrol pumps or grocery shops after COVID. Nobody is offering us any credits. Driver need everyday money to bring his grocery, medicine, to refuel the vehicle. So if everybody is paying through Ola Money or Uber Pay, driver won't get money immediately. There will be no settlements immediately. He needs some money to refill, fill the fuel, or to bring the medicine or bring the groceries to his house. So he will ask whether it is cash payment or Ola Money, sir. If he says no, Paytm, I will do Paytm, he is ready to accept the Paytm. Or cash is also, he is ready to accept the cash. But when they say, no, I have Ola Money or Uber Pay, obviously he refuses because he needs some 200-300 rupees.
So it's very interestingly, Mr. Tanvir
Nobody
Pasha,
will think what is his need.
Yeah, you have listed out very key points from the driver's perspective. But Giri Prakash, I have a question, like the way the numbers that Mr. Pasha was mentioning, from 1,25,000 cabs about 2 years back to what it is today. And each of these points that he's mentioned could have been sorted out with a better algorithm, right? Because they are an algorithm-based cab aggregator. They could have sorted this out. If the driver is not in a mood to take that trip on his last trip after the day, the algorithm knows that he's already done 11 trips. He's most likely to cancel that trip. Then give it to somebody who's just starting his, probably a night shift or something like that. So these are things that could have sorted. And if I remember right, I think in the early days, there were not much cancellation. These things were being handled much more efficiently. So what's happened now?
No, that time what was happening? That time supply and demands were equally matching. Today, supply and demands is a mismatching concept. So
Right.
companies trying to match up the supply and demands equally and forcefully. Nothing else apart from it.
Yeah, I would really, from all the points that you're mentioning, Mr. Pasha, and your opinions about the companies, I really wish we had a representative from Ola and Uber to sort of, defend their stand. But unfortunately, they were not willing to be a part of it. We have requested them. We had requested them. They did not want to be a part of this discussion. So I think that I have to mention in this debate. So I toss that question to you, Giri Prakash.
Yeah, you know what Ola and Uber could have done was that for every cancellation, they should have reimbursed a similar amount. Let's assume it takes, if I have done a booking, say from point A to point B, and it shows that it's around 250 rupees that I need to pay the Ola driver, every cancellation should have given me 250 rupees back, or put it in the whatever in that amount of money. Now, what it would do is that it would make Ola and Uber more responsible, so that they will see to it that the services doesn't get affected, because finally the customer is the king, right? So nor did they do anything for the driver, nor did they do anything for the customer, and both got shortchanged. I don't know the inner workings of Ola and Uber. I don't know how all these things actually happen, what they had in mind, because of the fact that they obviously aren't very transparent about whatever that they do, even though they hold those kind of press conferences and declare that they're doing well, and there are interviews with the media and all that. But a far more transparent system with taking care of the drivers. Please understand that these drivers come from they're though they are trained and all that, they completely depend on their daily earnings. as Mr. Pasha was talking about, you don't get a certain amount of money, you can't buy medicine, you can't buy provisions, you can't buy sugar, you can't buy milk and all that. So they are completely dependent on that. And when these Ola and Ubers of the world, who are multinational companies, don't take care of them, it is hard to expect them to take care of the customers. I completely agree with the fact that they cancel. It's not that they want to cancel. It's just that they just are not possible. It's just not possible for me to take care of that route. So I think that's a bit of an issue.
Yeah, but also, Giri, coming back to you again, once again, these issues could have been sorted out with probably a little bit more investment, a little bit more focus on, the driver, the benefits that the driver will get vis-a-vis the benefits that a customer would get. These things probably did they just stop pushing in more money?
No, these are platforms. The webinar is a platform for them to, connect the driver and the customer. Most of these webinars are for that, actually.
Yeah.
Of very strategic importance, the burning issue and all that. That the fact that they don't actually, you're talking about money control, how they don't turn up. So I think it's very important that they use this platform to be far more transparent, articulate, and tell the driver what exactly happening. But it's like, there's a lot of opaqueness. They don't really enter into a conversation with all the stakeholders. So we actually don't know what exactly is happening there. We don't even know whether they have far bigger issues that they have to deal with. We can only go by what the driver says, what the customer says. And we are left in the lurch because of that.
Very interesting point, Giri. सलाउद्दीन साहब, जब आप पहले ये शुरू होने से पहले भी आप बोल रहे थे कि पाशा जी ने एक वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट बोला, जो गिग इकोनॉमी के ऊपर जो ट्रस्ट है वो पूरा चला गया है. तो आप भी इसकी ये वेबिनार शुरू होने के पहले मुझे बोल रहे थे प्राइवेटली कि आप इसको ये गिग इकोनॉमी के डोमेन में ही से ये ड्राइवर्स को देखना चाह रहे हैं आप. तो उसी ओला और उबर ड्राइवर्स को अगर आप गिग इकोनॉमी के वो पर्सपेक्टिव से देखेंगे तो गलती कहाँ हो रहा है? उनको तो एटलीस्ट वो स्विगी, जोमेटो और कोई कंपनीज हैं, वो जितना राइज कर रहे हैं उनका उतना पैसा मिल रहा है. तो यहाँ क्या गलती हो रहा है ये कैब एग्रीगेशन?
सर देखिए, सारे एग्रीगेटर कंपनीज को पहली बात, कानून के दायरे में हम जब तक नहीं लाएंगे, जब तक तो एक खुली छूट है एग्रीगेटर कंपनीज के लिए. ऑलमोस्ट तनवीर पाशा भाई ने सारे चीज कहा, तो उस चीज में मैं चीज जोड़ना चाह रहा हूँ. अगर आप इसके कानून का दायरा इम्प्लीमेंटेशन नहीं करेंगे तो वहां पे कहाँ पे इस प्रॉब्लम का हल होएगा. तो हम गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया से, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट्स और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट से यही चाह रहे हैं कि इनके ऊपर पॉलिसी बने, नंबर 1. नंबर 2, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने एक चीज बना के तो छोड़ा, बस उसको इम्प्लीमेंटेशन पे नहीं है. एक हम बात करें तो सोशल सिक्योरिटी कोड 2020 में बन गया, ड्राफ्ट रूल के अंदर है, अभी तक इम्प्लीमेंटेशन नहीं है, नंबर 1. नंबर 2, एग्रीगेटर गाइडलाइंस 2020 ने छोड़ दिया पब्लिक डोमेन में, मगर वो भी स्टेट्स गवर्नमेंट्स इम्प्लीमेंटेशन नहीं कर रहे. यहाँ तक के जहाँ पे सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के स्टेट्स, फ्रेंडली स्टेट्स है, वो स्टेट्स भी आज जो है इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करने की सूरत पे नहीं है. तो सोचो आप, जो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ड्राफ्ट बना के भी निकाल रही, तो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट और सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के बीच में भी गैप है, नंबर 1, वो भी सोचना चाहिए. और ये जितने भी एग्रीगेटर कंपनीज है, ये सब एक ही झाड़ के पत्ते हैं. ये दिमाग में रखना है कि ओला, चाहे उबर, चाहे स्विगी, जोमेटो, अमेजोन, जितने भी एग्रीगेटर कंपनीज है, और ये कंपनीज ड्राइवर्स की और डिलीवरी बॉयज की जिंदगी पे इफेक्ट कर रहे हैं. आप बोले कि सलाउद्दीन भाई कितने लोग इफेक्टेड है और क्या है इसका रीजन, तो आप देखेंगे तनवीर पाशा जो क्लियरली कहे, ऐसा हर स्टेट में हुआ. क्योंकि एक तो आईटी सेक्टर बंद था, आईटी सेक्टर में बहुत सारे ड्राइवर्स काम करते थे. एक तरफ से पैंडेमिक में आज भी पूरे तरीके से आईटी नहीं खुला, ओला उबर जैसे कंपनीज का सपोर्ट नहीं था, और गाड़ी के सारे ईएमआई नहीं बनने के ऊपर गाड़ी सीज कर लिया गया. 3-3.5 साल तक उसका फिर से गाड़ी खरीद नहीं सकता, ट्रैक खराब है. ये तो ड्राइवर है ही है. साथ ही साथ आप देख सकते हैं इमीडिएटली इन लोग बदल के, पहले ऑटो का रोल नहीं था उतना ओला उबर के अंदर, आज ऑटो में आ गए. फिर उसके बाद में बाइक टैक्सीज पे आ गए। ऐसा लोग एकदम, आपको एक चीज यहाँ पे क्लियर करना चाह रहा हूँ, ऑटो कैब से भी बढ़ के जा रहा। कितनी शर्म की बात है, 10 लाख रुपए की जो गाड़ी खरीद के रखा, वो गाड़ी से भी महंगी गाड़ी ऑटो जा रही। तो वो ड्राइवर पे क्या बीत रहा होगा जो मेरे भाई चला रहे। हम लोग तो यही फाइट कर रहे हैं कि उसका एक रेट फेयर हो, उसके ऊपर रेट तय किया जाए, गवर्नमेंट, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट उसके ऊपर किलोमीटर का बेस पे तय किया जाए, पूरा कंट्रोल ओला उबर एग्रीगेटर्स कंपनीज को लिया जाए। साहब आपको ये भी क्लियर बताना चाह रहा हूँ कि जितने भी एग्रीगेटर कंपनीज है वो सारे कंपनीज अभी तक लाइसेंस नहीं लिए स्टेट गवर्नमेंट से, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट से, फिर भी खुली छूट है उन लोग के लिए, 12 खून माफ। मगर जब हादसा होता, पैंडेमिक जैसे हादसे में जो ड्राइवर गुजर गया, डिलीवरी बॉय गुजर गया, या डिलीवरी बॉय को एक्सीडेंट हो गया, उसका मुआवजा कहाँ से मिल रहा। तो हम बोल रहे हैं कि कानून बनाओ, पहले कानून के अंदर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के लिए लाइए, उसके बाद में कंपनी का और ड्राइवर्स का, डिलीवरी बॉयज का गैप कहाँ पे है हम वो फुलफिल कर सकते हैं, आपस में बैठ के बातचीत कर सकते हैं, नहीं है बोल के नहीं। मगर जैसे कि नीति आयोग का रिपोर्ट आप देखे होंगे रिसेंटली जो नीति आयोग का रिपोर्ट आया 1920 और 2930 के अंदर अगर हम बात करें तो 2.38 लाख गिग वर्कर्स इसके अंदर शामिल होंगे बोल के रिपोर्ट में क्लियरली नीति आयोग ने कहा। और नीति आयोग ने बहुत सारे रिकमेंडेशन ऐसे रखे कि वो गवर्नमेंट इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करती या नहीं करती, नीति आयोग के रिपोर्ट को प्रायोरिटी है या सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के पास नहीं है, वो देखने की चीज है। तो मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ कि पहले जो गवर्नमेंट से हो सकता, गवर्नमेंट अपना काम कानून के दायरे में करे, कंपनीज को इसके अंदर पहले दायरे में लेके आए। तीसरी चीज, जब कंपनी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ये सारे चीज कानून रखेगी तो वहां पे ड्राइवर्स को और कंपनीज को, गवर्नमेंट को, तीनों को एक रूट मिलेगा कि आगे इकोनॉमी को कैसा लेके जाए। नहीं तो नीति आयोग ने बताया कि 2.38 करोड़ आने वाले हैं, आएंगे, मगर होएगा क्या, कानून ही नहीं है हमारे पास। तो वो बड़ा सवाल है ना आज के तारीख में, तो वो सवाल का जवाब गवर्नमेंट से ही मिलना चाहिए पहली बात।
बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात बोले आपने गिरी, इफ यू कैन जस्ट ट्रांसलेट इट फॉर व्यूअर्स who can't
Yeah, so very relevant points from Mr. Salaluddin. Basically, he's saying that all of them should be brought under the law. I mean, law should be exercised, and they should be under the whatever rules or regulations are there, which is not true, which is not actually happening. And he talks about the fact that there is something called the Social Security Code, which is still at a very draft stage. It has not been implemented so far, which again shortchanges the driver community. And there is a mismatch between what the state government say and what the central government says. Even those states which are like say part of the ruling party at the center, even then there is a bit of an issue when it comes to understanding the issue. And now then you have the auto rickshaws, which are part of the part of this category, and you have two-wheeler, which are part of the category. But there is nowhere do you have some kind of a fair, there's a bit of a fair mismatch when it comes to that. So, and then there's a Niti Aayog report that he talks about, and how 2.38 crore, right, is that the gig workers will join in the next 1 or 2 years. While this is going to happen, nothing else is there in terms of what are you going to do for gig workers, whether you'll have a safety net for them, whether you'll have insurance for them, and in case they get shortchanged by these companies, what is the alternative for them? Because you cannot go ahead and say that so many will join the gig economy, and then if they don't have those kind of jobs, what happens to them? So I think it's a very relevant point out there.
Very, very relevant points. Mr. Pasha, so, one way where I can relate the presence of the government, so to say, in this whole issue is what happened in Bangalore only, where close to about 300 cases, 300, complaints that were received, and the government had sort of slapped a fine on Ola and Uber and these aggregator companies based on the number. And now I just read some reports where they're getting mass complaints against these, consumers are complaining in large numbers against these aggregators for cancellation and overcharging. So at least at that level, the government has started getting involved, right? Where they're slapping fines, they're trying to bring them to books. So do you think that is the beginning of the solution to what Salahuddin Saab is saying? You're on mute, Mr. Pasha. Thank you.
Sorry. Government is not worrying about anything either. Just once they got something like viral with the complaint issues and all, once the central government, they called one meeting with the Ola Uber team, with the ministry and few officers and all. And they just did a eye-wash program. They said, we are giving you 20 days or 30 days of time. You have to fix this and all. Afterwards, there is nowhere they conduct the meeting in any states in India, the Ola Uber company. They never try to sort out these issues. Okay. And I'll continue with the Salahuddin statement one, which is lastly left-hand. ये जो companies है, these companies are just playing, they're just wanted to be live with their platform. उनको सिर्फ जिंदा रहना है. To just to raise their fund, इसलिए पहले टैक्सी आई, उसके बाद लग्जरी व्हीकल, to just raise some more money, and then they started auto, which is illegal. Till today, aggregator license means only for cabs, not for autos, not for two-wheelers. Okay, this aggregator means cab aggregators, not a three-wheeler passenger aggregator. This is violation of rules, but still everywhere they're ruling, rocking, they're doing. So पहले ये लोग कार वालों को पैदा किए, उनको लालच दिए, अब उनको खाने के लिए ऑटो वालों को छोड़. ठीक है, ऑटो वालों की जिंदगी पहले से भी खुश थी, लेकिन तुम जाके कार वालों का पैसा खाओ, तुम आपस में लड़ो. This is, you can say, before the 1947, how the situation created, the history repeats again with this gig economy. And then afterwards, this auto market they captured. They just wanted to keep their run, keep their show run. उसके बाद ऑटो का भी थोड़ा प्लेटफॉर्म इधर उधर हो जाएगा, टेंशन है. Then they started bike taxi. Bike taxi is already like nowhere in the Karnataka state transport authorities. उसमें तो कहीं पे भी टू व्हीलर टैक्स, बाइक टैक्सी के लिए प्रोविजन नहीं है. Then also still they are playing a game, very big game. They are arguing with the government. गवर्नमेंट यहाँ पे एक हेलमेट नहीं रहती है, एक डीएल नहीं रहता है, तो उसको पकड़ के डाल देते, उसकी गाड़ी सीज कर देते, उसको फाइन डाल देते. लेकिन यहाँ पे आरटीओ बोलता है कि वो ऑनलाइन में एक एप्लीकेशन खोल के रैपिडो बाइक टैक्सी चला रहा है, उसको तुम बंद नहीं कर सकते क्या? नहीं, हमने एनआईएम में भेजा, उसमें भेजा, इसमें भेजा, नहीं हो रहा है. Then they went to a court. They went to a court and they got a stay. For what? For what they got the stay? This stay, which the rule is not there in the amendment, not there in the state law. For that, the stay also, like courts provide. Seriously, this is like mad. What do you call that? This is all. Anything can happen with this gig economy. They can do anything. They can create anything. They can finish anything. It is just like that. They want to raise their fund. They want to keep their run. They keep their show run. So that is why they're acting like anything and anytime, anything they can do it. यहाँ पे उन लोगों को कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता. यहाँ पे 300 लोग कंप्लेंट करें, कस्टमर पागल हो जाए, कस्टमर को एडिक्ट करके छोड़ दिए ये लोग. यहाँ पे कोई दूसरा कॉम्पिटिटर नहीं आ सकता, क्योंकि ये लोग खुद कॉम्पिटिटर को मार देंगे, क्योंकि इनके पास इतनी आईडीज है. बिकॉज आई एम द वेरी फर्स्ट पर्सन इन इंडिया who launched the against Ola Uber cabs one more aggregator name called Namma Tiger, which is backed by the ex-chief minister H.D. Kumaraswamy. They supported us with motivated words. I started that one more cab aggregator company, which is very like viral, and it was having very like market में एक नया adventure लेके आ रही थी with so many benefits. They started sending the bookings, just like you go to the history 2-3 years before Uber filed the case on Ola, they're throwing the fake bookings on Uber. So lakhs of fake bookings they started doing, and finally they got the IP address, everything they traced. Uber filed the case against Ola. So just like that, The same thing happened with us also. So finally, company didn't survive because of the investors and because of so many threats. So it is collapsed. So directly or indirectly, they wanted to be live in the market to just to raise the fund, just to play the game, not to serve the people, not to help the drivers, not to create the employment, not to support to the government, not to follow any rules and regulations. They want to do whatever they think in the same way. So first of all, government has to bound the rules. They have to come out with the rules and regulations for, especially for gig economy. Till they have to stop this gig economy firms, whoever coming with the new entrepreneurship gig economy, they have to put the full stop. Otherwise, Indian economy completely will go worse and worse. Today already it is in a worse case. Why? Because most of the people are civil lost people are there after this gig economy came. Nobody will give loan for us, and the banks are scaring to give the loans because of this gig economy. What gig economy gives? The जो झूठा भरोसा देना, उन लोगों को लालच देना, what they all do. So with this, people mindset will go very wrong, and finally this will come to an end where everything got collapsed.
But Mr. Pasha, let me toss that
Yeah,
question to
koi
Mr.
action-
Giri Prakash, because this point that you're mentioning about the problems with gig economy, they're just keeping it alive to raise more funds. Mr. Giri Prakash is somebody who follows the sector very, very closely. So we'll get some expert opinion. Giri, why would they keep a platform alive just to raise funds? And who is going to invest in a platform that is there just to raise funds? I mean, at the end of the day, everybody wants to make money. The investor who's putting money into Ola or Uber or any other platform, like Mr. Pasha is talking, at the end of the day, he also wants to make money. This company has to go profitable for him also. So how does this economy work?
Okay, let me take some time to explain a few things. I'm sure Mr. Pasha and Mr. Saluddin might concur with me. Today, Ola and Uber do not have a license in Karnataka. Okay, I'll tell you the reason for this. 5 years ago, Karnataka government came with a lot of rules and regulations to rein in, to discipline Ola and Uber to see that the customer as well as the drivers benefit. There are several regulations, for example, fare cap, search pricing cap, and stuff like that. Okay, they needed to have a panic button out there. They needed to display that in each cab they should have a taxi kind of placard or a board there. So Ola and Uber went to court, and when they went to court, they said that they signed into this kind of a license. At the same time, they went to court saying that all these regulations are not valid. So what the court did was they told the Karnataka government that in case Ola and Uber violate these regulations, you can't penalize them, right? So what happened was that they did not penalize them. At the same time, the Karnataka government could not in any way take them to task. Plus, that 5-year of licensing agreement that they had has now expired, and Ola and Uber have not gone and renewed those licenses. I'm talking of Karnataka here. Okay, so that is one aspect of it. See, the other aspect of it is that Uber, for example, its revenues were around 300 crores or something last year, but it invested around to get that 300 crores. It lost around 600 crores. And in spite of the fact that there have been denials to these reports, Uber apparently wants to sell off its India business, and there are no takers for it. Okay, they want to exit the country. They are not unable to do it. Okay, so what it means is there is far less commitment out there. And if you look at Ola, for example, whatever that money that gets raised goes into Ola Electric and not into Ola Taxi. Same thing with Uber. I don't know how much of investment that goes into their taxi aggregator app service, But I have not seen any reports where Uber has said they are going to go ahead and invest 400 crores or 500 crores so far. So a lot of money that's supposed to be get into this kind of company is not happening at all. So I believe that to a large extent Uber is not very committed to this country and wants to exit. And as far as Ola is concerned, I think all the money that they raise goes into Ola Electric. So we are in a situation where there is not much commitment. And as Mr. Pasha said, one is not very sure what the future of this two aggregators will be.
So that in a way answers the question that I had in mind, Giri, that, or does it, the fact that these issues don't crop up anywhere else. In the US, they seem to still function fine, because why only India seems to be having such a big problem? Is it
No, there is a reason. There is a difference between US and, for example, I have my car. I decide that I have another 6 hours left with me and I'm not doing anything. I can put on the that board right on top and use it as a taxi.
Okay.
That kind of a facility is not available in India. Otherwise, a whole lot of us would have actually gone ahead and done that. We could have, people could have made extra money, and but the government of India doesn't allow that. For that, you need to change a lot of rules, I assume, but that's not happening. But in the US, you'll find, for example, somebody who's employed with some multinational or any company using his leisure hours to drive around the city. That doesn't happen in India.
Okay. So that's a completely different sort of operation that happens there when compared to
Yeah.
So, but I'm curious, just out of curious, Mr. Pasha, what happened to Tiger?
See, the investor, he withdraws his investment, the venture capital. So all of a sudden, the commitments went high, and even many times servers got hacked, and fake bookings started coming out. So many problems faced, and the angel investor, which is a Kolkata-based company, SDPI, Safe to Digital India Private Limited. So they also tried to take up that company, but due to lack of investments, so we didn't get anywhere. The investments were in the beginning, which we are expecting some 3 to 4 crores what they invested, and finally it's collapsed.
Okay. सलाउद्दीन साहब, जैसे पाशा जी एक्सप्लेन कर रहे थे कि अगर कोई ऑल्टरनेट प्लेयर इस मार्केट में आता है तो वो सर्वाइव नहीं कर पाता, क्या हैदराबाद भी टेक्नोलॉजी से कोई कम नहीं है? हैदराबाद भी एक टेक्नोलॉजी savvy सिटी है, तो क्या एक ऑल्टरनेट प्लेयर आने का स्पेस ही नहीं है इसमें?
नहीं, देखिए सर, आने नहीं देते। पहली बात तो कंपनी जो है, आप देखे होंगे, ऊबर ईट कंपनी को कौन खरीदा? स्विगी ने खरीद लिया। रिसेंटली बिग बास्केट को किसने लिया? मैं भी बोला ना, ये सब एक ही झाड़ के पत्ते हैं, ठीक है? दिखने के लिए कुछ दूसरे लोग हैं, बट ये सब एक ही है। ये सारे लोग को अगर गवर्नमेंट, जैसा तनवीर पाशा भाई के पास वहाँ पे कर्नाटक गवर्नमेंट एक ऐप तैयार की थी मिल के ड्राइवर से, टाइगर ऐप शायद ऐसा, तो वो ऐप सक्सेस जा सकती थी, उसको लेके जा सकते थे, मगर उसके अंदर गवर्नमेंट का भी सपोर्ट, गवर्नमेंट का कंट्रीब्यूशन भी होना चाहिए, ड्राइवर्स का भी कंट्रीब्यूशन होना चाहिए, और कंपनीज के ऊपर लगाम लगाने की सख्त जरूरत है। कंपनीज के ऊपर जब तक आप लगाम नहीं लगाएंगे तो कंपनीज इंडिविजुअली इंडिपेंडेंट बर्ड्स ऐसे ही चलेंगे। आप देखे होंगे बहुत सारे, रिसेंट की बात कर रहा हूँ, जब राजस्थान गवर्नमेंट वीक फेस्ट के लिए मेरे को इन्विटेशन दी थी कि राजस्थान के लिए आने के लिए, जब मैं वहाँ के चीफ मिनिस्टर साहब के सामने ये बात रखा, वहाँ पे चीफ सेक्रेटरी के सामने ये बात रखा, तो उन लोग बहुत खुश थे इस चीज के पास कि हाँ, हम राजस्थान में अपना खुद का ऐप बनाएंगे, ठीक है? जैसे कि रिसेंटली भी आप देख सकते, केरल गवर्नमेंट ने एक ऐप बनाया, ठीक है? अब वो एप्स जब कब तक सक्सेस होते, कैसा सक्सेस होते हैं, सबसे बड़ा सवाल है, क्योंकि हमारे पास टेक्नोलॉजी भी है, टेक्नोलॉजी में बहुत सारे माहिर है, नहीं है बोल के नहीं है, मगर हमारे पास जो हब्स है वो कैसे बनेंगे, हब्स का जो बैकएंड टीम है वो कैसा सपोर्ट करेगा, इसके अंदर गवर्नमेंट का कंट्रीब्यूशन कैसा रहेगा। तो केरल का एक छोटा सा रोल मॉडल बन गया कि केरल के गवर्नमेंट के साथ साथ सपोर्ट था केरल गवर्नमेंट, और साथ ही साथ बोले कि हम पूरे मल्टीपल वेलफेयर स्कीम जो है मर्ज करेंगे ये ऐप के अंदर, तो वहां पे बेनिफिट पहुंचाएंगे। तो ऐसी राजस्थान के गवर्नमेंट के अंदर भी ये बातचीत चल रही है कि क्या कर सकते, क्या डेवलपमेंट ला सकते और क्या डिजिटलाइजेशन में सपोर्ट मिल सकता। तो हमारा जैसा हैदराबाद जैसा सिटी में तो अभी तक कब की होना चाहिए था, बैंगलोर हैदराबाद में, मगर वो नहीं हो पा रहा बिकॉज द रीजन आई डोंट नो, पॉलिटिकल प्रेशर है या पॉलिटिकल का सपोर्ट है उस कंपनीज को। जब हमारे ही कंपनी एक लीडर खड़े के बोलता कि ये कंपनी बहुत बड़े पैमाने पे काम कर रही, तो उसका क्या है, बैंगलोर का आईटी मिनिस्टर खड़े के बोलता कि कंपनी बहुत बड़े पैमाने पे चल रही, तेलंगाना में आईटी का मिनिस्टर खड़े के बोलता कि अरे यार बीजूस जो ऐप है वो बहुत बेहतरीन ऐप है, आप इसको इस्तेमाल करो। ठीक है, तो ये प्रमोशन जो है कंपनीज का कर रहे हैं मगर खुद का ब्रांड नहीं बना पा रहे। ये गवर्नमेंट का बहुत बड़ा फेल्यूर है। गवर्नमेंट अगर जा स्टार्टअप्स कंपनीज अगर जा देख रही, स्टार्टअप कंपनीज के अंदर पहले आप उनको आवाज दो कि जो यहाँ पे नया एक मुकाम तैयार कर सके उसको हम गवर्नमेंट पूरा सपोर्ट करेगा, चाहे वो बैंगलोर हो, कलकत्ता हो, हैदराबाद हो, जितने भी टायर 1 सिटी तो पहले ले लो, दिल्ली हो, मगर वहां पे गवर्नमेंट का भी सपोर्ट उतना नहीं मिल रहा। ये कंपनीज ऑलरेडी इनके मकाम डाल के रखे वहां पे, ओला, उबर, स्विगी, अमेजोन, जितने भी कंपनीज है वो कंपनीज ऑलरेडी मार्केट में छा गए, एक ब्रांडिंग बना लिए। क्यों? आपको एक बात राज की बात बताना चाह रहा हूँ, आज भी बीते हुए 10 साल से सारे कंपनीज लास्ट में बता रहे, मैं सही हूं ना, चाहे वो ओला रहा हो, उबर रहा हो, स्विगी रहा हो, जोमेटो रहा हो, अमेजोन, फ्लिपकार्ट, सारे कंपनीज लास्ट बता रहे, फिर भी हमारा इन्वेस्टमेंट जो है उसके ऊपर ही लग रहा लास्ट कंपनी पे। और उसके अंदर कितना इन्वेस्टमेंट आ रहा, कहाँ से इन्वेस्टमेंट आ रहा, कितने आईपीओ उसके अंदर जुड़ रहे, आप एक बार झांक के देखिए उसमें मालूम होता। और ये ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट का धंधा हो रहा, व्हाइट एंड ब्लैक का धंधा हो रहा, आपको पता चलता। कंपनीज तो एक तरफ से कंटिन्यूसली बोल रहे कि हमारी कंपनी क्लास है, हम टैक्स नहीं बन सकते, टैक्स वेवर करो। सर ये टैक्स चोरी कर रहे, गवर्नमेंट का टैक्स उड़ा रहे, टैक्स माफी कर रहे हैं। और टैक्स कौन बन रहा? ड्राइवर बन रहा, डिलीवरी बॉय बन रहा, कस्टमर बन रहा। और एक बात भी बताना चाह रहा हूं मैं आपको, कहाँ पे गवर्नमेंट का इन्वेस्टमेंट लग रहा वो तो बताओ, साथ ही साथ कहाँ पे कंपनीज का इन्वेस्टमेंट लगा रहा बताओ। गाड़ी हमारी, डीजल हमारा, ओके, ईएमआई हमारी, ड्राइवर हम हैं, इन्वेस्टमेंट किस पे लगा रहे साहब, किसके ऊपर इन्वेस्टमेंट लग रहा वो तो बताओ।
टेक्नोलॉजी के ऊपर चल रहा है।
फिर इतना सारा हमारा है, ड्राइवर को पार्टनर बोल के जोड़ दिए, डिलीवरी बॉय को पार्टनर बोल के जोड़ दिए, उसके सारे राइट्स खत्म कर दिए, एक नया लॉजिक लेके आके आप। क्या जो गवर्नमेंट बेनिफिट देना चाह रही वो सारे बेनिफिट्स ओला उबर के ड्राइवर को, डिलीवरी बॉयज को मिल रहे क्या? नहीं मिल रहे, क्योंकि हम पार्टनर्स है। ऐसा मैं नहीं कहता हूँ,
Not
कंपनी
employed. Employed.
क्या ये इतने सारे कंपनीज जो है पार्टनर बोल के जो बात बोल रहे, क्या पार्टनर का दर्जा दिया क्या? क्या उसके अंदर शेयर में जब शेयर खरीद रहा, मार्केट में कोई इन्वेस्टर खरीद रहा, वो इन्वेस्टर को भी आपके दौरान से मैं पूछ रहा हूँ, क्या कभी आपने किसी पार्टनर, ड्राइवर पार्टनर को, किसी डिलीवरी पार्टनर को पूछा क्या आपके पास मैं इन्वेस्टमेंट करना चाह रहा हूँ? आप तो एसी के बंद 4 दीवार में एक एमओयू कर रहे, इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहे, आप इतना आईपीओ डाल रहे, इसके अंदर इतना पैसा डाल रहे। अरे यार जो जमीन पे काम कर रहा ड्राइवर डिलीवरी बॉय, उससे तो पूछ के देखो हालात क्या है, उसको पता भी है ये हालात बहुत बुरे हैं, पैसा नुकसान में जा रहा मेरा, फिर भी इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहा। मगर कंपनीज के पास ये इसके लिए पैसा है, सीएमओ को पैसे देने के लिए और पीएमओ केयर में पैसे देने के लिए पैसा बहुत सारा है।
ये उसका हमारा कोई एविडेंस नहीं है वो ऐसा बोलने के लिए, लेकिन हम एक बात
नहीं सर, एविडेंस है
हाँ।
सर। ट्विटर में खुद ओला के सीईओ ने कहा कि मैं इतना गवर्नमेंट के लिए कर रहा हूँ, कर्नाटक गवर्नमेंट को भी दिए, पीएमओ को भी दिए, ट्विटर में कहा सर, मैं भी नहीं कर रहा हूँ, वही स्टेटमेंट कह रहा हूँ जो वो लोग कर रहे हैं।
ठीक है, तो नहीं आपका पॉइंट मुझे समझ में आ गया। मैं गिरिप्रकाश जी को जरा गिरी, इफ यू कैन जस्ट ट्रांसलेट व्हाट सलादन साहब जस्ट सेड एंड देन आई थिंक वो सलादन साहब जो आपने बोला, मैं आपका क्लोजिंग रिमार्क्स मांग के ले लेता हूँ। गिरी, आफ्टर यू ट्रांसलेटेड we'll get closing remarks from Mr. Pasha and then your closing remarks also.
Yeah. See,
मैं एक चीज बात करके क्लोजिंग में एक ही मिनट का टाइम दीजिए बस।
Sure, definitely.
सर देखिए, गवर्नमेंट के पास पहली बात तो गीग वर्कर्स, प्लेटफॉर्म वर्कर्स का डाटा नहीं है, ठीक है। उसके वास्ते ई श्रम बनाए, ठीक है। जितने भी अनऑर्गेनाइजर वर्कर्स है वो सारे को एक बार बना के, वो भी सुप्रीम कोर्ट के कहने पे, ये सारा जो डाटा था, आज हमारे पास 7.7 जो गीग वर्कर्स का डाटा है वो ई श्रम से ही मिला, चाहे वो नीति आयोग का रिपोर्ट हो, कुछ भी हो। मगर ई श्रम के अंदर क्या बेनिफिट्स मिल रहे? वन नेशन वन कार्ड बताया आप, उसके बेनिफिट्स तो बताओ। तो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का रोल क्या है, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का रोल क्या है, क्या क्या स्कीम्स मंच हो सकते फ्यूचर में। मगर गीग वर्कर्स, प्लेटफॉर्म वर्कर्स को पहली बार कहीं ना कहीं एक मौका दिया गया कि आप इसके अंदर रजिस्टर हो। वो भी यूनियंस, हमारे जैसे यूनियंस कंटिन्यूसली, इंडियन फेडरेशन ऑफ ऐप बेस्ड ट्रांसपोर्ट वर्कर्स का फाइट था, कमिश्नर से बातचीत थी, मिनिस्ट्री को खत लिख रहे थे कि गीग वर्कर्स, प्लेटफॉर्म वर्कर्स को भी इसके अंदर जोड़े। बट उसके अंदर वो क्लैरिटी नहीं है, आज भी क्लैरिटी नहीं है कि गीग वर्कर्स, प्लेटफॉर्म वर्कर्स को से एंगल के अंदर आप काउंट कर रहे हैं। तो गवर्नमेंट को अभी से ही रणनीति बनाना होगा, चाहे वो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट हो, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट हो। गीग वर्कर्स, प्लेटफॉर्म वर्कर्स का रास्ता किधर है और किधर जा रहा, और इसके ऊपर कानून क्या बनाना चाहिए। थैंक यू।
बिल्कुल, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग कि एक विजन होना चाहिए कि क्या होगा इनका। तो गिरी प्रकाश, कैन यू प्लीज गिव अ quick summary of
yeah, I think when you ask a question whether Hyderabad, why can't it have its own aggregator app, he's talking about how they don't, these two companies actually, and he claims that they don't allow any other competition to enter, just as Mr. Pasha also talked about it, about as far as Number Tiger is concerned. And apparently he did go to Rajasthan, and with the Chief Minister, Chief Secretary, they were all very happy that a new aggregator app is going to come, and they're very happy about it. But finally, the government doesn't back up any of these initiatives. Drivers themselves can't do these things. They don't have that kind of funding. The government has actually to do it, which apparently doesn't happen all the time. And then there were issues regarding how the government actually is unable to back them up, and at the same time, the very important point that he makes is where is the investment coming from these aggregator apps, right? All the investment that happens is from the driver's side. Okay, he buys the car, whatever servicing has to be done, insurance and all that. So when they talk about when they say that these drivers are partners, do they give them that kind of a partner status at all? They don't give them, right? They don't even share their profits with them. So this whole idea about saying that they are partner drivers doesn't make sense at all. And he talks about e-shram, where there's a whole lot of benefit that these drivers and gig workers should get. That's not happening at all. So there needs to be a rethink as far as the e-shram is concerned.
All right, thank you so much, Pasha. Mr. Pasha, your closing remarks. You're on mute, sir.
My suggestion is central government, first of all, central government has to take a call, because they have to create the main platform. See, if each state creates a new applications, then if I am traveling to Mumbai or Hyderabad, I have to install again a Hyderabad platform application and Delhi application. So better either give the direction to all state to go through with one chain link of application, which is central government can build that application. So to make the new employments, new revolutionary, and to give the public the secured and safe and cheapest services, because how it come very cheap prices, because it shouldn't be any surcharges and extra charges. 20 bar, 4 bar into 7, the same single price. And obviously, there will be no any much deductions like 30% commission and all. Hardly 3-4 rupees each driver can pay per trip. Then the platform application expenses can be make over that. So central government has to take a call, and they have to put the boundaries to this gig economy first of all. Otherwise, there is no boundaries. They are jumping from here to there, here to there. And moreover, finally where it comes, Zomato, Swiggy or Zomato recently IPO list हुआ. This is all about valuation game. Loss हो, profit हो. Valuation बढ़ता जाएगा. ओला ने दिखा दिया 60,000 करोड़ की कंपनी. उसके पास asset नहीं है. 1,000 employees भी नहीं है. There is no 1,000 employees or any assets, no any FDs, nothing. Just on the base of application technology, they are telling that 60, 70,000 crores of company valuated. And after that, their their stake will go off. Then they will enter to the IPO. That is public money. Public will invest because hey, Ola के पास बहुत पैसा है यार. Ola इतनी बड़ी company है. Just like a Zomato, you see where it went, where it dropped. Swiggy where it went. इन्वेस्टर को क्या है, जापान वाला इन्वेस्टर है, उसको ये चाइना वाला है, वो आईपीओ इंडिया के पब्लिक का पैसा लेगा, वो भाग जाएगा. यहाँ पे आईपीओ लिस्ट रहेगी, शेयर अप डाउन होता रहेगा, खत्म दुनिया. यहाँ पे ना तो एम्प्लॉयमेंट होगा, ना फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम ठीक होगा, लोग मरेंगे, बैंकर्स मरेंगे, इंडिया की जीडीपी मरेगी, सब लोग एक दिन खत्म हो जाएंगे. दिस particularly gig economy is a total wrong concept without the boundaries. They have to put first boundaries, and then for this public transport facility, mobile application is good. So better central government has to take the call to create the new application to help the drivers as well as the customers. This is what I can say.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Pasha. Giri Prakash, so I mean, doomsday predictions from Mr. Pasha if you don't follow if you don't bring it under regulations is what he's trying to say. How do you like to sort of conclude this with your closing remarks?
I think we should look at the genesis of Taxi Aggregator app. If you look at it, it is because the state government has failed to provide its taxpayers, its citizens, a very good, transport service. Right? That's the reason why we ended up something like this. We should have had this metro much earlier. We should have had public transport, which is available to everyone around. We should have had last mile connectivity from metro to our individual houses, colonies, and all that. So they failed. They have really failed us. So that's the reason why we ended up having something like this. Now it is for the state government across the country to actually realize that this is now, there is no way out. The state government cannot get into all this because of several reasons, because the kind of revenue collection that happens is not sufficient enough. You have poll promises to keep, you need to waiver of loans. So where do you get enough money for all these things? So this is a reality. When the state government realizes this is a reality, they should work together with taxi aggregators, with almost every stakeholders. It could be commuters, it could be drivers, to ensure that it's much easier for everybody to move around, have good transport, have safe transport. Until and unless there is a mindset change from the state government, we'll continue to have these issues.
All right. Thank you so much, Giri Prakash. So I think all needles seem to be pointing at the authorities here. I hope they're listening to this wake-up call that we are giving them. And all the points seem to be sort of mentioning about how regulation is an utmost necessity, and to keep a watch on what's really happening in the investment scenario. So, Salahuddin Saab, idhar aake baat karne ke liye bahut shukriya. Thank you so much, Mr. Pasha, for joining us.
Thank you for giving this opportunity.
Thank you. And Giri Prakash, as always, thank you so much. We will meet again in the next webinar with something more relevant and interesting. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Bye.